Hi everybody, this is Srinivas here, Srinivas Kambala. Today I would be talking about the food cost for a hospitality industry, about myself. I work for 14 years in hospitality industry. I have grown from the captain to manager operations. Whatever food cost today we would be talking, I have wonderful knowledge in the food cost. So I can explain you in and out with easy method how to control the food cost, what is food cost, what impact is there in P&L for the food cost. Hope everybody is ready. Thank you. Today objective in food cost session is calculating food cost percentage, and explain the effect the changes in food cost sales have on food cost percentage. Food cost percentage, and how the food cost percentage affect with the sales. These are the three topics we would be talking today. Exactly what is food cost? Food cost is very simple. The actual food used for the food operations is the food cost. Actual food, whatever used for the food operations is the food cost, and often referred to as a cost of food sold. For example, if I take a tea, what ingredients you use to make a tea is milk, sugar, tea powder, milk and tea powder. These are the three ingredients we have used to make a tea. So these three ingredients cost is a food cost, very simple way. Include cost of food sold to the customer. Also include the value of the food that is given away, wasted, or given stolen also. For example, whatever the food cost, you mean to say whatever the food I am using for the food production, apart from that, there would be a wastage, there would be some stolen also, there would be some given away also. It is also added into food cost. Corrective actions for the cost control. For example, if you say I want to make it consistency food cost, I want to control the food cost, what need to be done? One is you can reduce the portion size. What is the portion? Whatever the quantity you would be giving as a portion, you may reduce according to the convenience of your recipe. You can reduce the portion size as well. Replace the item with a lower cost alternative. For example, one ingredient you are using, that ingredient cost is so high, you want to replace that ingredients in that same menu, which can be possible. That is also one corrective action for the cost control. Whatever the higher profit margins are there, that item can be sold more. For example, 10 items are there in menu. One item is giving more profitability, means for making the product, the food cost is low. That ingredients, whatever we are taking for the food, that are low cost. So you can sell that food more to the customers. And the same time, according to your convenience, you can raise the menu prices also. For example, your menu prices is showing 10 rupees, 12 rupees, 15 rupees. If you increase 1 rupee, 2 rupee also, the same time your sales is increasing and the food cost will be managed. To reduce food waste, for example, you say the same time what previously we have spoken, the food wastage also come under food cost, because whatever the food you are using to make a portion, that wastage also come into the picture of the food cost. So monitor portion control, monitor food storage and rotation. What exactly it is whatever the food you are storing. For example, you are not using the refrigerator, whatever the food you have made and you are keeping outside only, that within fraction of hours that food may waste it. So you need to see exactly where you are storing the food also. At the same time, you need to rotate your food also. The same time, monitor the food purchasing also. You need to see exactly how I am purchasing the food products. For example, weekend sales always high in the hospitality industry. Say Saturday, Sunday as holiday mode, the sales will be very high. That time you need to take more products. The same time, weekdays you need to purchase lesser products. You need to see that aspect also and minimize the production errors. For example, the new person has come to the field and he has started cooking. If he is admitted any kind of mistake, that food can be wasted. That wastage also come into the food cost. Yep. Now, factors affecting food cost. We have spoken about the waste because of the over ordering, which we have spoken previously. As weekdays, for example, I have ordered more food, my sales are low, my food will be wasted. So I need to monitor my ordering factors also. The same time, over production also. For example, today I am estimating of the sale of some lakh rupees. For that I required this much of portion. So if I know exactly how I need to develop, how I need to make, how much I need to make, and so exactly that much only I will develop as a food production. Otherwise, what will happen if I don't know? If I don't know how much I need to produce it, I will produce more and the sales will be low. Whatever the extra we have made, it will go as a waste. The same time, the theft would be there. This is the one of the hidden food cost factor in hospitality industry. Always the theft is there. As a management positions, you need to see where exactly the theft is happening. How theft is exactly happening, you need to see his employees are eating the food, otherwise employees are giving away the food to the to guest as a free of cost. The same time, there is a one more aspect is whatever the food you are transferring to bar, whatever the food you are transferring to the bar, you need to make a note, otherwise it will go as a complimentary. End of the day, it also affects your food cost. And the same time, if you have multiple units, if you see the star hotel, there would be multiple units. One is bar and restaurant, one is coffee shop, one is room service. Whatever you're transferring the food, you need to make a note of that, where exactly it is going. The same time, there is a employee meals also involved in a hotel industry. That employee meals also you need to take as a consider in the food cost. Now, very simple formula, I will explain you how the food cost formula works. You need to take a opening inventory. For example, today is 31st, 30th, whatever the month end is there, you need to develop a food cost. What you do is, you will take the opening inventory, it will be there because last month you already have taken the food cost. There is a opening inventory with you. The same time, you need to see that entire month, whatever the purchases happened, how many items you have taken, there would be entry in that. You need to take that entry also. So the opening inventory plus purchases minus whatever today you would be taking, that will become a closing inventory. What we have spoken is that closing inventory will become opening inventory for the next month. So very simple aspect is last month closing inventory became the opening inventory. The same time, this month there would be some purchase also and there would be a closing inventory. So altogether, if you say opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory, what exactly is, for example, opening inventory is 5,000 and the purchase is 30,000, the total would be 35,000 and the closing inventory cost would be approximately 4,000. So what is the cost of food sold is 31,000. This is a simple formula of the food cost. I am talking about the rupee value of the food cost. Now, what is the physical inventory which we have spoken? We have spoken one is closing inventory, one is opening inventory, exactly how it is happened. The accurate calculate of food sold, manager must take a physical inventory. You need to take a pad and you need to go to the warehouse, we need to go to the kitchen, you need to take the physical inventory, exactly what food items I would be having. This is known as a physical inventory. Now, food cost formula definition. Food cost formula definition. Opening inventory, which we have spoken, I want to explain in a free manner. Value of the physical inventory of the beginning of the accounting period which we have spoken, purchases, value of all food purchased less any appropriate subtractions during the accounting period. And the same time closing inventory, value of the physical inventory counted at the end of the accounting period, which we have spoken. I want to explain because this is the typical point for the inventory. Closing inventory will become opening inventory for this current month, and purchases and the same time whatever the closing inventory will become opening inventory for the next month. Now we have spoken about the food cost value. Now we will come to the food cost percentage. What is food cost and what is sales? Whatever the items we have used, that is known as food cost value, divided by whatever the sales we have generated, that is known as food cost percentage. Very simple. Again I want to explain it. Whatever the food cost we have used, the rupee value divided by sales value, rupee value, equal to food cost percentage. The food cost percentage formula in use is food cost divided by sales equal to food cost percentage. For example, if I want to come up with the figures, for example, your food cost is 7,000. How the food cost arrived is the same manner: opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory, whatever the value comes, that is food cost. Okay, now if you have the food cost is 7,000 and the sales approximately, if you say I have generated sale of 25,000, so the food cost percentage is 28%. This is a very simple manner. Again I want to explain. For example, your sale is 100 rupees. Out of 100 rupees you have used 28 rupees for your food. So 28 divided by 100 into 100 equal to 28%. This is the food cost percentage formula. Now costs and the sales affect food cost percentage. Now you say food cost divided by sales equal to food cost percentage. This is a very simple aspect of the food cost, right? Now food cost is variable cost, so it should increase when sales increases and it decrease when sales decreases. If control standards are in place, food cost will go up and down in direction proportion. If controls and standards are in place, it will not to sales. If sales are increased, your food cost is decreased. Your sales is decreased and food cost is increased. That way your system is in place, your controls are in place, then everything will be all right. Now example, I want to explain what manner, why we are saying this is a variable cost. The ABCs of food cost percentage: A is food cost, B is sales, equal to food cost percentage, where A is food cost, B is sales, C is food cost percentage. If A stays same and B increases, C decreases. What I want to say is food cost is same and sales are increasing, obviously your food cost percentage will decrease, which is good for the industry. If A stays the same and B decreases, C increases. I mean to say your food cost value is the same and the sales are decreasing, then your food cost percentage will increase, which is not good for the industry. Now ABCs of food cost percentage, again A divided by B equal to C continued. If A decreases and B stays the same, C decreases. We have spoken about food cost variable. Why food cost is variable? If the food cost is decreasing and the sales are decreasing, the same manner the food cost would be consistency. And the fourth is, if A increase, food cost increase and the sales would be the same, then C will be increasing. If A increase at the same proportion rate, the B increases, C stays the same. Now 10% increase in sale and cost of food. For example, if you say X amount is your food cost, the X amount is sales, and the same manner 10% increases in sales, 10% increase in food cost also, what will happen to your food cost percentage? With the example we see, original cost of food is 1,000 and original sales is 3,000. There is an increment, food cost percentage is 33%. Now which we have spoken, there is a 10% increase in food cost and the sales same time. Now the cost of food would be 1,100 and the now sales would be 3,300. The food cost percentage would be the same. What we have spoken in this variable cost is Food cost divided by sales equal to food cost percentage. So the food cost percentage, what factors are affecting to the food cost percentage is if sales decreases and food cost is increasing, then what is exactly is happening to your food cost? Food cost is increasing, which is not good for the industry. The same time the sales are increasing and the same time the food cost is increasing, which is good because the percentage is the same. Yeah. Now 10% increases we have spoken. Food cost percentage continued. If you want to reduce the food cost percentage, one shortcut method is reduce your portion size and reduce your ingredients. Everywhere you can reduce, and the same time you can come up with the food cost percentage also. But it may affect your customer experience because the food quality will not give you much effect if you are reducing all ingredients and if you are reducing the portion size. So it is not advisable to reduce all to take the food cost up. Creating recipe cost, this is also very important factor for the food cost. Exactly how it happened, whenever you are making any kind of food, there would be a recipe, there would be a portion size. For example, if I take the previous example as a tea, if I want to make a tea, I need to develop some tea. From there I will take portions. For example, there is a milk, I will use that milk for making the tea. From the tea there would be a portions. The same manner we will talk in a simple manner here. Copy the ingredients from the standardized recipe card, the cost card. What is the food recipe? For example, any product if you want to make it, there would be ingredients. There would be ingredients. How much ingredients to use to develop that product, that is known as a recipe. Step 2, list the amount of each ingredient used, which we have spoken. Step 3, indicate the cost of the each ingredient as listed in the invoice. Now I come to the point, whatever the products you have used for the as a ingredients, and there would be a cost involved for that ingredients, right? Now you need to indicate that cost for that products. Step 4, convert the cost of the invoice unit, the cost of the recipe unit. Now I'll come to the point. Milk purchased per gallon of 2.80, yield of 8 recipe pint is 0.35. How it comes? Now I am saying from 1 gallon milk that 8 pints will arrive. So 1 pint cost would be whatever the cost of the gallon of the milk, which we have spoken 2.80 divided by 8 equal to 0.35 per pint. So end of the day, whatever we are using ingredient has to come from the invoice only. Now we have spoken that in invoice there is a rate involved for the milk gallon, that is 2.80, but whatever we are using in the recipe, we are using the pint we are using. How many pints we are getting from 1 gallon? 8 pints we are getting from 1 gallon. So 1 pint is costing 0.35 per pint. Yeah. Now multiply the recipe unit cost by the amount required in the recipe. For example, in the recipe you required 3 pints. 1 pint is costing 0.35 rupees. So ingredient cost would be 1.05. The 3 pints into 0.35 equal to 1.05. Add the cost of all ingredients. Step 7, divide the total recipe cost for the number of portion produced. Now I want to come to the same manner. What we have spoken is, whatever you are making a product. From that product you would be dividing the portions. For example, I have taken 1 gallon of the milk. In that, from 1 gallon I want to develop a product where I have used 3 pints of the milk for the product. From the product I would be dividing into portions. Total recipe cost would be 145.50. Total recipe yield would be 50 portions. So cost of per portion is 2.91. This is the portion value. For food cost, we have spoken about one is inventory and one is purchasing. The same time we have spoken about recipe cost also. And the same times we have spoken about the sales also involved with the food cost percentage. Now, I want to take a small brief of how the food cost percentage arrived. How the food cost percentage arrived. We have spoken of inventory of the products. The same time the food cost is involved with the opening inventory. The same time purchases minus of closing inventory. In the food cost, the wastage would be there, the theft would be there, everything involved in the food cost. To control the food cost, you need to take care of whatever the aspects which I have spoken, like wastage and theft. You need to take care. The same time the sales also is a variable for the food cost. If sales increases, the food cost percentage is increasing. You need to focus on sales increases. The same time the food cost whatever we have spoken, to reduce the food cost, you are not supposed to manipulate with your recipe. You are not supposed to decrease the ingredients. You are not supposed to decrease the portion, because if you decrease that ingredients and portion, that will not give you good impact to your customers. Now the point is, what is the recipe? That is a very important point. Now, which I have spoken about, the small example I have given for the tea and all. If you take a gallon of the milk, from the milk you need to make some portion of the tea, and the same time from the portion how many teas will arrive. So indirectly, what is the tea cost is the food cost you need to take from the invoice only, which we have spoken about the tea cost and all. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you have understand the food cost percentage in a very simple manner. How exactly you need to analyze the food cost percentage? For example, if you say I have done sales of 100 rupees, the same time I have sold the product cost is 28 rupees. So whatever the formula we have spoken, the food cost divided by sales equal to food cost percentage. So according to your view, the 28% is the food cost percentage for your organization. But really, if you want to analyze whatever the food cost percentage is real percentage, so you need to see exactly the ingredients what we have used, that is known as a recipe cost. This is a very important factor which I want to explain you exactly how it works. Even though we already spoken about the how to check your ingredients and the recipe cost, then also I want to explain you how you need to scrutinize your food cost, how you need to see your food cost. Exactly, there is so much wastage is happening, exactly there is so much theft is happening, there is so much giveaways happening. Is the processes are in control or no? There are only two factors you need to see. One is actual cost, one is your recipe cost. Actual cost means very simple, which we have spoken. One is your opening inventory plus whatever the purchases happen minus of your closing inventory equal to one value, you will get it. For example, if you say I have taken few items and I have purchased a few items and the few items are balanced, whatever the value is there, you are saying that is the food cost value. At the same time, I want to explain you how exactly it works. Whatever the consumption happened divided by the sales equal to the food cost percentage, right? But at the same time, whatever the consumption happened, exactly that consumption has moved to your food production, otherwise that consumption moved to some other areas, you need to see that recipe cost also. Now, how exactly you need to come to the point is, whatever the food products you have sold, there would be a value for your food product also. Now I'll come to the point. For example, which we have spoken very easy language about the tea we have spoken. Now in the tea, what are the ingredients we have used? We have used the milk and we have used the tea powder, and the same time we have used the sugar also. Now I say, for making 8 teas you required some milk some sugar, some tea powder. Now I want to say I will give you the recipe to make a tea. You need to use this much of milk, this much of tea powder, this much of sugar. So what exactly is happening is you have given a ingredient value for your tea. For example, you have purchased 1 liter of milk and 1 kilo of sugar, 1 kilo of tea powder. So according to your opening inventory, according to your purchases, according to your closing inventory, there is a value of your food cost. The same time, how many tea you have sold? You have sold 8 teas, and 1 tea recipe is there, some value is there. Whatever the recipe value is there, if you see whatever actual value according to your invoices, according to your inventory, and according to your menu cost, if is a varying, there is a variable is there. For example, if you say your closing inventory, your purchases, your opening inventory cost is 10 rupees, and your whatever you have sold the food items, so the cost is 8 rupees, what will happen to the 2 rupees? You need to see in a scrutinizing manner, in very diplomatically you need to analyze this, what exactly happened, this difference amount, whatever the 2 rupees I am talking, it may be the wastage, it may be the guest takeaway, otherwise it may be uncounted variance also. There are so many aspects will come. If that unaccounted wastage is coming more and more, so your controllables are not in a picture, then go back to the basics and you need to come up with whatever the controllables we have spoken. You need to keep all systems in place. The same time you need to see what is your inventory cost and what is your menu cost. If it is a very same, your food cost is managing properly. Hope you have understand in a proper manner. Thank you very much.